We're back at Cape Canaveral, picking up from last time when we had no end of troubles with our sounding rockets to get the biome capsules science. So where we left off, we had the SR-20 on the pad and we crashed when we loaded it, so we're ready to launch that. Let's just get an overview of where we are. Okay, early avionics is coming up in 19 days and 14 hours. Okay, anything else? The tech, it's going to be a while before we get basic orbital and can really start firing up stuff into space. But then again, there's also a bit of way with the launch pad and tracking station and mission control. We of course need the launch pad to be able to launch stuff that's weighs more than 40 tons. Tracking station and the mission control is so we can enable maneuver nodes. Before we go ahead and launch the SR-20, let's go and abuse a bit of a feature with KCT. Because, I mean, we've still got another nearly 20 days before we get early avionics, but we could just start building the rocket that we're going to send up when we get early avionics. I mean, because what we get is we get the micrometeorite detector, but that's situation specific and not biome specific, so we're just going to get the lower and upper atmosphere and lower space using a sounding rocket, but the other one we're going to get is the Geiger counter, and that is very much biome specific. So we want to send up another Phantom 1, or no, 1B, Phantom 1B, like so, if we load it, with the Geiger counter. But instead of waiting until we get the Geiger counter, we might as well just go and pre-build it. So if we take our thermometer, which is on here, and we remove it, like so, and stick the nose cone back on, like so. Well, yes, we might as well save it because this is actually the launch vehicle. Okay, then we're going to call it the Phantom 2. Still based on the Phantom 1B platform we designed. And let's build it. It's going to be some 34 days and 22 hours, so it won't be finished until a while after we complete early avionics, which means we can actually go and edit it once we get early avionics and fit the Geiger counter and just continue to build it. That means we don't waste the time, because we don't like wasting time, of course. Okay. Yeah. And we can now see Phantom 2's building, and then we'll just go into edit once we get early avionics. So, all's well. Similarly, I could go to... I probably should do that. Go to Kodiak and Vandenberg and start building some sounding rockets there, and then we'll edit in the Geiger counter. Let's just go and update our paperwork and say Phantom 2, which seems to be launched in and 34 days on top of that at least, would be 1 day 328. It's the Phantom 1B, and it will get Geiger, radiation, data, all biome space, and it'll be launched from the KSC. But let's go and make the SR-21 and the SR-22 as well. They'll be in Vandenberg and Kodiak respectively, because then we just pre-build it and eventually fit the payload, which will be a Geiger counter. We'll launch it on the Mjolnir 1D platform, which is using the, just let me type this one here, which is using the XASR-1 engine. There we go. And Vandenberg. There we go. Effectively, we'll just grab a copy of the SR-16, which also used the Mjolnir 1D. It's not like we're designing a massively different payload, it's just one part. Okay, let's load the SR16, which is here. Hello. And let's call you the SR21, like so. Okay. Might want to do one or two things to it. First of all, let's take off the cap and remove the thermometer because there's no need for that. Get it? Okay. What we're also going to do is we're going to angle it ever so slightly, as per usual, because we'll get the desert straight away, because we're on desert here, but we also want the highlands, which are right next to it, so just a tiny, tiny angle. I think that's good enough. I hope so. Okay. Let's save it, and let's build it, and let's update our paperwork and say you are to be getting radiation data from low plus high atmosphere, desert and highlands. Okay. And let's bugger off to Kodiak and do much the same, only there we'll launch it straight up. And there is one thing I just want to check because I forgot, but no, I don't need to check that here. I can check that at Kodiak. I want to check how long it takes to build, but of course we haven't spent any build points here. But yeah, nah, we might as well check. Maybe 66 days for a pretty simple rocket. Well, who's counting? So that's going to be day 360-ish. Yeah. Yeah, one day 360. Well, it probably takes some time to roll out, so day 361 we're going to say. And the SR-22 will be launched from Kodiak. And there's Kodiak. Oh, let's get a load proper. There we go, Kodiak. Okay, and BAB. So, yes, even though we're progressing in the tech tree, still plenty of sounding rockets to send up. Plenty and plenty. Don't you worry. We'll probably go on for a while after we get some new tech, because we want sounding rockets will at least get low and high atmosphere, and until we do start doing actual polar orbital launches, it'll also get space over the poles. So here we are, SR-21. Well, we're going to make one which is pretty similar, so SR-22. And we're just going to go for the rotate tool, click the root part, and hit space. And it rights itself to point directly up, which is good enough for us. SR-22, yes, and let's build it. Still dirt cheap, 102. Okay. And then we just need to go and remember to edit it to pick up the to fit the Geiger counter, so we can pick up the radiation data. We're going to want one of these over at KSC as well. We could just go and build it right away. It's also going to be angled slightly east because we want the shores and ocean biomes. Eventually we'll have to figure out a way to get the atmospheric data from biomes such as mountains and tropics, if we want the full amount of science, and we might well need that. US Cape Canaveral. I keep calling it the KSC, but it's just so much easier. And since we also want a slight tilt east, we're just going to make a complete copy of the SR21. And we're going to call it the SR23. We don't know when it'll be launched. We know that it will be on a Mjolnir 1D, and radiation data, low and high atmosphere, grasslands, shores, and ocean. Okay, let's load up the SR21. There it is. Let's call it the SR23. To see, yep, just a slight tilt, absolutely lovely, adorable, and build it. It takes just 6 days and 22 hours to build it here, so about 7 days after the Phantom 2, so that'll be about year 1 day 335 roughly, that's the estimate. I feel a lot more confident with these sounding rockets because they're based on, they got the XASR1 engine instead of the very much hated WAC Corporal. And just like that, we now have 5 rockets building, well, 4 rockets building and 1 on the launch pad. So, now that that's building, let's go and launch the SR20. We have a hard time seeing this fail because the mission statement for the SR20 says, get biodata from atmosphere low, which means basically just lift off. So, let's fly it. And you can see the system monitor here if we just go and check KSP down here. See, it only uses 7.8 gigabytes of memory, but it is using OpenGL, so it might use a couple of more gigabytes from the graphics memory. And on top of that, it might want to address, because memory fragmentation or whatnot, memory outside 16 gigabytes, and Unity does not like that at all, not even on Linux. And that's likely to still be a problem in KSP 1.1 because according to people it's also happened in games using Unity 5. So, yeah. Oh well, here we are. Let's just get our science alert window up and waiting for stabilized physics load. Okay. And let's launch. Nothing to see here, nothing specific. Okay, off we go. And pick it up and get ready to stage. We're spinning up and we're staging and we're spinning. A lovely 90-degree pitch. I'm just going to let it, I could just drop it now, but I'm not. I'm going to go and arm. We can see now, I arm the parachutes and says, no, I don't want to do that. I could cut the engine here and just get it over with, but I'm not going to. It's a lovely daytime launch. And just have to hope we don't end up in the ocean. We can see we are wobbling a bit, but at least we're pointing in the right direction. See from the pitch here. It's just the bottom end seems to be wobbling a wee bit, or maybe it's just a camera wobble. Uncertain. And no, there weren't any, well, there was a sounding contract for sounding rocket medium, but that was 470 kilometer apoapsis, and we can't do that with this one. That's not possible. Well, just let it burn. It's through about two-thirds of the burn time. It is of course using the AJ10-27 engine, because the XASR1 didn't have enough delta V to get us up to space, not without going over the rated burn time, and we did not want to do that. So instead we brute forced it and used the more power, more thrust of the AJ10-27. Okay, and it looks like we'll not be going out over the ocean today, which is good. I don't trust that with splashdown. I mean, we had the SR18 mission, the second one of these, splash down perfectly in the water with parachutes and all, and then roll over in the water and explode. I didn't like that very much. Okay, heading for 250 kilometers as per usual, and we'll just time warp up. Yes, very good. Close to space. Stop physics warp and switch to normal time warp. And there's just a bit, yeah, between 140 and 160, everything goes milky white. Does look a bit silly. That's just the way it is. Okay, getting close. And going down. Yes, parachute deployment failed because we're in space. Okay, I might want to check up on that. Are you still armed? Maybe I shouldn't be arming them until we go down again. No, you're not armed. Let's arm you now. There we go. And as soon as disarm comes up, we know that it's armed. So, let's go down. Again, we're just over the grasslands, and no, it does say shores here. But that does not look like shores. Honestly, it really doesn't look like shores. We should be, yeah, now we're grasslands. And we should be landing in here inland. I mean, if anything, went west instead of east, which we should do as well if we did a straight up launch, because the Earth will have rotated under us. Let's just do a bit more time warping. I don't like how it looks when I use 4x time warp, where it seems to be shaking itself apart and I don't trust it, so I'm going to stick to 3. And go down now. Really burning off speed here. And yeah, it still looks like it's shaking itself apart. And just stop it here because parachutes are about to be deployed. There we go. Pre-deployment. And slowing down some more. And now we can just time warp until we roughly land. So we're also a bit north. We're both west and north. West-northwest, I think would be the correct expression here. And of course they do a full deployment at 700 meters. Pretty close to sea level, ground altitude, and there we go. Full deployment, and slowing right down. Just time warp through it. And one hundred meters, and let's cancel the time warp and just let it settle down nice and easy. There we go. Yeah, you can flip over, it's okay. And let's do a normal recovery. So, another huge success, fortunately. So actually, all of the Mjolnir 1E we send up, 4 of them, to get the biocapsule data, have been working perfectly. Yes, I know one was destroyed, that seems to be some sort of bug, but at least the engines work perfectly, which I like. And we got a bit of science, 2.5 science from biocapsule sample capsule, and we got a bit of money back, and nothing happened indeed. Okay, so that was the SR-20. So let's jump to early avionics and get our parts and go and edit our rockets. There we go, that's early avionics, and then another 100 days until we get basic orbital rocketry and get proper engines, yeah. So early avionics, what do we want? Well, the Explorer 1 probe is nice and easy to send up, but we don't actually need it. What we do need is, we might want these avionics packages. Let's go and have a look inside the BAB and have a look at our Phantom 2 that we're building. Let's edit it and see what we can do about it. Right, here it is. And straight off, one of the things that's pretty interesting is this guidance unit early. Because it allows control of vessels up to 45 tons and it weighs less than the starting one. This weighs 600 kilograms, this weighs only 350. So that's very interesting in itself. I mean, at the moment we're using two guidance units early, one on the lower stage and one on the upper stage as well. Just to illustrate here, let's remove, well, we're not going to remove all of it because we don't want the fairings removed. But if we look at this here, see it weighs only 4.5 tons. And probably a bit less because it's also got these fairings and the fairing base. Well, no, actually weighs more because this one has the, so let's just go for a laugh. Let's go and remove this fairing here. And let's go and remove this whole thing. Okay, so the upper stage on its own weighs just 3.6 tons, which means we could be using this Able avionics package for it, which weighs just 140 kilograms. You can see it, you should be able to see it here, in there. There, we got another one of those guidance units starting, and it's just heavy and expensive. So if we replace this with an Able avionics package, we'd get a lot more delta V, and if we replace this one with the early avionics package, we'll get even more delta V. But we don't need more delta V. We have absolutely zero use for more delta V. So we're just going to stick to this. We will, on the next rockets, we'll of course be using them, but at the moment, no, not really, no. We might as well be using them, so just right click to pin the window and go and purchase it. It costs 200 and this costs 300, so we'd actually also save a bit of money. And this one, let's pin it and purchase it, because we will be needing them. This costs just 100, so we'd save some money by using them, but I don't want to change the rocket design. We've got this design pinned down and it's good. We could also just use the 20-inch X-ray detector, which weighs a whopping 10 kilograms, as our actual probe core, instead of having the small sounding rockets, which is here. As you can see, this weighs 60 kilograms. So overall, we could get a lot more delta V out of this, but we're not going to, not yet, no. Not yet. We're going to use the same as we did before, because it's tried and it's tested. For the next rocket design, yes, we'll be using all of that, but not right now. Let's go and let's go and buy the science part first. The only question is, do we want this Geiger counter or this Geiger counter? They are exactly the same, it's just the model. I'll take this Geiger counter, it looks better. So pin it and buy it for 800. There we go, and let's fit it. See, symmetry? No, I don't think so. Fit it. See if it fits within the nose cone. If not, we'll make it slightly bigger. This is, after all, a procedural nose cone that really does not like to be fitted. Let's try some node snap instead of surface snap here. It seems to be. There we go. And yeah. So it's sticking out. That looks silly. So let's up the length a bit. There we go. Is it still sticking out? There's a small spot there, but that's probably just because it's not perfectly aligned. Indeed. Do this. Be golden, yeah? There we go. Okay. Nothing sticking out anywhere. Slightly different nose cone. That's fine. Let's save it and let's save the edits. As you can see here, edited. It somehow requires less build points, which is something I don't know why. I honestly don't know why it requires less build points after this. Oh, no. It requires more build points, but we've actually... this might be caused by us fiddling with the fairings, procedural fairings, which might have confused it. So let's just cancel it and go out and just only change the top of it. Or maybe it's because we changed this one. What if we change it back? Down? No. No, it gets very confused about procedural parts, it seems. 281. Yeah. Let's cancel the edits here and let's re-edit it. And only deal with the top part this time. Of course, that means we also need to change the nose cone a bit for the sounding rockets, but that's fine. We can do that. Okay. Phantom 2, edit. Yes. Zoom in. It is interesting when we go and edit it, and even though we don't do anything, there is a slight difference. But it's okay. Let's fit our science here, our Geiger counter. And let's see if we make it pretty centered. There we go. Nice. Let's take this and make it slightly longer. There we go. And fit it back down. No, this is actually the same, so okay, there was nothing. Okay, we have slight clipping here. I don't like that. I suspect Far might not like it either. I'm just gonna slightly over here. No? I wonder if we can use node snap on this. No, can't use node snap on this. This looks pretty centered. Put the nose cone again, and everything's good. Okay. Since I'm going to use science alert, I'm not going to bind the science experiment to... Actually, I am going to do that just in case. So let's go to action groups. And let's say 1 is science. Lock radiation data. There we go. And... science. Yes. There we go. Nice. Okay, the reason I do this is, even though I use science alert to get the data, if something happens to it, such as me being unable to transmit it because I don't have any connection with remote tech, it'll still have the data, and science alert won't show up because, of course, it already has data. So there's nothing new. There's no new science you can pick up. And so, if I were to actually want to get the data without using action groups, I'd need to zoom in through the zoom in and get a view with inside the cone and pick it up, and that's all we're going to end in here. So let's save these edits. It is fine. you go up there first. Whenever you change something, when you go to edit it, it drops down to the bottom of the build list. I'm going to go and do pretty much the same to the SR23. I'm just thinking now, because yeah, this is the Geiger counter. We should also have a micrometeorite detector. But about that, I don't think I can fit both parts onto the same sounding rocket, because it's just too small. It's 0.3 meters, and see, we already had some issues fitting in these rather large radiation loggers. So I might just build another sounding rocket for it. I mean, we got plenty of time before we get to orbital rocketry, so no point. Okay, we'll lift this one up. Go to science. Yes, as you can see here, we also got the micrometeorite detector early, and we just can't fit it as well. We are going to buy it though, and we will just make a separate sounding rocket with it. So here goes the Geiger counter, and again we'll try to center it as much as humanly possible. There we go. Of course, we also need to make this one slightly longer, the nose cone, and then we are going to hit it like so, and we check to see if there's no clipping. There's no clipping. This is very good. Save it here and save it here. So we might as well, since we're now here at KSC, we might as well build the SR24, which will also be a Mjolnir 1D, and it's going to get micrometeorite early from low plus high, atmosphere plus space. Yeah, and it's not biome specific, it's just situation specific, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's get in here. Okay. Yes, it is sort of an SR23. I mean, it's right, roughly the same. Again, it's tilted because we want to get it from grasslands, shores, and ocean, and we're just going to hope that it works. Yeah, and this is with the extended nose cone and everything. That's very nice. We're going to call it the SR24, and we're going to ditch the Geiger counter and instead fit a micrometeorite detector. There we go. It is quite a lot smaller. I like the fact that it's with it inside the nose cone, and it'll be able to detect micrometeorites in there. That's fine. I don't mind. Save the SR24 and build it. 7 days and 4 hours. Okay, build. Okay, exit. Let's see when that's going to be done. We say roughly 7 days after the SR23, and then a bit probably, so it'll be year 1, day 343, we suspect. Okay, before we do anything else, let's go and fiddle with the rockets we built at Vandenberg and Kodiak. Or not built, but are building. Yes. Yes. Somewhere over here. Somewhere like Vandenberg. Yes. I wonder if I can just straight up do it in here. R21, edit, and hope it'll put me in the right spot. Hope it's not broken. I've never tried this before. Yep, and that's the one with also slight tilt to get both desert and grasslands. Okay, as usual. Move the nose cone, get the Geiger counter, try and center it. Looks pretty to me. Get it slightly longer and re-hit it. And no clipping, okay. Save here and save edits. And let's go and do the same thing in Kodiak. So we got, well, a couple of months worth of things to do, planned rockets, etc. But it's probably going to be a bit of time where we got nothing much to do. We'll get the next tech. Okay. SR22. Edit it. I might need to revise when the launch dates are because we've edited all the rockets, so probably going to take a wee bit longer. I'll just do that afterwards. Okay. I mean, if we just update the here, no, not 0, 0.1 is what we have. So it says here it's going to take 46 days and 10 hours, yes, but as soon as we start fitting things, it probably won't anymore. Not structural, silly me. A Geiger counter. Yeah. Extend the nose cone. Refit it. And no clipping whatsoever. It's good, let's save it. And now it's going to take 58 days. So we'll just save the edits and then we go and we assume that it's going to be exactly the same for the one in Vandenberg because it was exactly the same edits to exactly the same rocket. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. And 58 days from now, and we are on day 314. So 372, that's, yeah, year 2, day 7 now, suddenly. Year 2, day 7. Year 2, day 7. This is what it looks like. And same for Vandenberg. Let's go back to the KSC. Let's just check when the Phantom 2 and SR23 and 24 are done. And we're going to update our paperwork and then we're going to launch. I just really like knowing roughly when something's due to launch so I know when to go to where I need to be. Cape Canaveral, all is well. This says 15 days from now. So it's going to be, instead of day 328, it's going to be day 329. Might be 330 because there'll be some rollout as well. And And if we look at how long the others take, they take about 7 days. So that's 337 roughly, and 345. Let's just give it a bit of a buffer there. Okay. Right, let's walk to complete of the Phantom 2, which will be our second orbital satellite, hopefully. Hopefully. And let's see here. Slowly switching to daytime, but I suspect it might take quite a while to roll out. 84 days left for basic orbital. That's fine. Okay. Let's just go and check to see if we got anything here available. Not anything I want to do. Specific orbits around Earth? I don't think I can do that right now. Oh no. Oh no, I can't. Let's see what they look like actually. Can we even see the orbits here they want us to go into? Yes, we can. So they're both highly inclined. The purple one even more so. Oof. Well, of course we can't even control our orbits. Nowhere near. We can't control it at all because we can't actually. What was I going to say? Yes, we have no attitude control of the upper stages at the moment, and I'm not going to be bothering until we get the next one. Just for a laugh, let's go and see what the inclination... Oh, and suddenly we have a lot more. But anyways, what did you want us to get? An inclination... 161. Oh dear. That means you're probably going to go around the other way. Ooh, that's not nice. And 41. 41 is... within reason. I mean, we're at 28, so we can probably make up for that, but that's... as I said, we haven't got anything. Again, science data, and yes, it would be so easy to get 8,500, but it would be cheating because this is just infinitely repeatable. And explains we're definitely not doing anything to do with the moon, and specific orbit of the moon and specific orbit of Mars. Yeah, right. Very good. No, absolutely not. That's just downright impossible. For a number of reasons. So let's go and launch. Well, roll out the Phantom 2 for 9.5 hours. Let's hope we'll still be in daytime. Yeah, sort of daytime. At least evening, dusk. Is this the right word? There. Okay. And just to check, I just want to see if we got any sounding rocket medium, because it should be able to no, sounding rocket high. 1600. In theory, if all goes well, I mean, our first one got into a 186 by 1828 kilometer orbit, so that would be above. But it's too risky. It's much too risky. Too many things can go wrong. And I don't want to do that, then I just have to build another one, and it'll take time, and then the contract will run out, and so no, just absolutely no. Let's just go ahead and launch this bugger. Of course, since it's based on the Phantom 1B, we already make sure that we have plenty of power as well to do enough orbits to catch all the biomes we want. Yeah, should be good. I haven't actually got a clue how much this radiation data from the low space will give us, but hopefully it'll get us a fair amount. What I am going to do though is I'm going to go into the configs and try and figure out where's RP-0. The parts, the science parts, see Geiger counter. See if I can figure out. No, I'm not really good at that. Okay, as per usual, we are going to use ascent guidance. We're going to limit the throttle to 100% just because we like it, and we have a turn shape of 40% and turn end altitude of 160. I'm making sure to be at a 0 degree, to be on the horizon basically once we get to 160. It'll be a bit after that before we actually drop the second stage with the AA10-37 and switch over to the unguided ones, but that should be okay. Checking staging, everything's looking good. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to engage the autopilot. I hope I can remember how to fly this and I don't mess up. Check here because we need to check when it's finally spooled up. So, engine light, and it's spooling up, and there we go. Off we go. Ooh, and we already have science. Yes, the Geiger counter. Yes. Flying over Earth grassland for 1.5 science. Yes. Oh. Oh, that's nice. It takes barely any data units. Okay, MacJeb doing its usual odd roll. I don't know why it does, but I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not in control. I might be confused if I was, but I'm not. Okay, we're over 100 meters per second, starting the gravity turn. Yes. It is surprisingly stable even with just these fins. I mean, yes, I'm limiting my angle of attack to 5 degrees, so it won't go completely out of shape, but still, it is nice. And what's the thrust now? Up to 370. Nice. Temperature's not too bad at all. Yeah, internal temperature not too bad either. Specific impulse is going up as well, along with thrust. Very good. And dynamic pressure still climbing. What's our thrust to weight ratio now? Just a bit over 2. And now it's dropping down again. So we didn't suffer too much dynamic pressure. I always like that. Pitch is down to 53. In general, if you fly them manually or using smart ASS, you want to be aiming for about 45 degree pitch at somewhere between 900 and 1000 meters per second. Oh, and there we go. Interesting. Oh, we went over shores now. Flying over shores. Yes. And more science. Yeah. You see, we just passed 1000. We are doing a slightly different turn, I suppose. And 20 odd seconds of burn time left. Once it's done, we're going to drop the fairings here and we'll start the ullage motors. Oh, and now we're over ocean. I want that as well. Yeah, over water. Yes. Oh, and now we're upper atmosphere, so it's just over the boundary. That's fine. Okay, that means we don't have to concern ourselves too much with that. There we go. Okay, ready to stage. And stage. And go. Engine ignition, and it's a good one. Okay, it was nice to get both low and high atmosphere over the ocean, because I'm not sure that our sounding rocket would be tilted enough for it, so it only has to deal with grasslands and shores. And actually for shores it's only upper atmosphere. We don't care about space, because this one will take care of space. The only place it won't take care of space is over the poles, and of course we are launching from Kodiak to sort that one out. So we got another 1 minute and 20 odd seconds of burn time here. As we continuously go up, we're at 110 kilometers roughly, and the apoapsis is about 180. It'll go to, well, at 160 kilometers of actual altitude, we'll be at a 0-degree pitch. And probably have I can't remember what's the apoapsis, 212 kilometers or so? Again, this one is actually powerful enough that it is going to circularize before apoapsis. It's not actually going to do a lofted trajectory, so that's fine. And the vessel mass is way down, still we're carrying around a huge, silly guidance unit. Oh, and we get space over water. 4.5 science, okay, that's going to give us a fair bit, that's nice. One of the reasons why transmitting data might be so fast is because right now we're using the actual guidance unit instead of sounding rocket core. It might have a bigger bandwidth. Uncertain, we'll see, once we ditch it. See, we're getting to 160, which means we're going to go on the horizon. There we go, on the horizon. We've still got 18 seconds before we stage. No, it didn't, because it burned out, so we're going to stage now and fire the engine. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So we suffered a early shutdown of the second stage engine. The good thing was, it was after we pitched to the horizon, so we can now burn this. I don't know if we'll have enough delta V to actually circularize. I'm not sure how much we lost. It was, what was it, 15 seconds worth of burn time? That's actually quite a lot of delta V, but we do have excess delta V on this one, of course, just in case something like this happened, but we may have to build it again. There is a chance it might not be able to circularize. 40, yes, but it really should be able to circularize. We need about 7,700 or so, and now we're at 4,000, and this one has nearly, so yes, it should be able to circularize, but it's, and it means it's going to be a less eccentric orbit than before. There we go, so, and we burn, and we ignite the last engine. It's gonna be tricky, You're still suffering a bit from gravity losses, but it's not too bad. Yes, we have a bit over 2,000, and yes, we really should be able to make it into orbit with this one. And time to apoapsis is climbing, so again we're going to circularize before we hit apoapsis. The only question is just how high will this go? It's pulling some 7Gs of thrust right now, 10 seconds. And yes, it really should go into orbit, but yes, we're in orbit. 153 by 845. Jolly hooray! And that's why we brought a bit of extra delta V on the last 2 stages, just in case some of it burned out early. And it did. And we are very happy, even though it looks somewhat silly up here. We are over the water. Let's go into the map, see where we are. Okay. Okay, what's our inclination? What's the orbit inclination? Orbit here. Yeah, so it was a straight east burn, 28.5. And we are connected to somewhere like Spain, possibly, and North Africa here. Possibly, yes. Possibly. Okay, we're just gonna time warp ahead until we run into some data we can send. We're surprisingly still connected. There are very good connections around here. Also, let's just slow down time warp and see what's this. These are probably messages that something has been. Yes. Oh, haha. Got the message here that there are no ignitions remaining. That's because McJeb still wants us to go and do our proper orbit insertion. But sorry, gravity turn. Yes. Well, no. You can consider yourself disengaged. We have some stage destroyed. See, I guess I could have, well, the second stage here we couldn't do anything about, but the first stage I could have gotten some refunds for this. If I'd fitted some parachutes and let stage recovery handle it, but I didn't. Still over the water. Flying around. Of course we've got persistent rotation too, so it keeps rotating even though that we're in warp. And no connection. I want to see where we are, which is where we are, that we have no connection. I can't see. This down here's Africa going out here, so somewhere over the Middle East. We should soon be within contact with these. Gonna keep warping. Might as well skip to 100. We are now in connection, and here's some shores. Space above the shores. So let's transmit it. And this is where I go, okay, it did not transmit. And this is why I got everything, got it key bound to 1. No. Geiger counter. No. Okay. And now I'm confused. It did not transmit anything or anything. Let's have a look inside it here, like so. This is what we have to do. Then we have to zoom out, and then no, that's only log radiation data. Okay. We're going to continue time warping, hope to get the shores again and various other biomes. Go. And we missed it. There we go. Grasslands. And we get the no comms devices cannot, and which is obviously a lie, and also we are connected and everything. The way to fix it is go back to the Space Center and then go back to the probe. But again, Science Alert isn't going to tell you anything from now on, because the Geiger counter already has data. So we need to go and transmit that data first. These are minor nuisances, they're not game breaking, and it certainly could be worse. Just doing bookkeeping while this is loading. Oh, that was a typo. There we go. Okay, and go in here. So both our first 2 satellite launches have been successful, even though we've done it with engines that both NASA and the Russians failed to do it with. Well, probably NASA didn't have the imagination to stick Aerobee engines on top of a Redstone. Otherwise they might have gone into orbit earlier. Or maybe they considered it to be not possible, or maybe it is just not possible to light the engine in space in the real world, where it is here. And we're back in space. Insufficient avionics. Yes, we are well aware of that. Okay. We're going to hit 1. We're going to hit 1 and get our science. No, no science, no. It doesn't want to, probably because it only has a lock, and I can't do that right now because there's a lock, there's only review. So we have to dive in here, find the Geiger counter, go out, say review. And we are connected, so now we should be able to transmit it. Yes! Okay, now we see this is transmitting somewhat slower, so it was the guidance unit that just had a lot more bandwidth. And it's also possible that the actual amount of data was less in the atmosphere, though I don't think so. Okay. Science, let's open the science alert window, let's close ascent guidance, we're done with you. And let's skip ahead. Wait, messing up now, there we go. Tropics, oh lovely. And we'll just wait for it. Okay. Also cleared the flight lock. I wanted to note down when the second stage shut down early, but I couldn't. Yeah, we're gonna warp ahead and grasslands. Grasslands are boring. Water's boring. Shores is not boring, but we missed it. We missed it again. How annoying. Then again, we are going 25,000 kilometers an hour, and shores are generally not very big. Now we're over the water. Nah. I'm overhead. I want to get over in the sunny side so I can actually see where I am and what I'm doing. Okay, where are we and what's coming up here? Is that Africa coming up here? It might be. So we might get shores very soon. And ready. Water. Ah, desert. Well, desert will do. And no, and no, and now we're in grasslands, and now in desert, and yeah, we get comms devices again. This is a bit annoying. I probably should go and check the output log to see what's wrong, but I'm not going to right now. And back we go. Oh, there's a little notification up here, probably about the third stage being destroyed. That's okay. We can only realistically recover the lower stage. The upper stages will be travelling way too fast. But let's go back in and get our science. Yeah, let's just get science alert here. Okay. Earth looks a bit silly here, but that should be fixed in the next orbit. dive in. Hello, Mr. Geiger Counter. Let's review and let's transmit it. Let's have a look at our destroyed stage. Pretty cheap. Let's. Okay, there we go. Let's keep on moving. Where are we? Let's actually jump out of time warp. Let's see, oh, we're over Australia somewhere. It'll be a while before we get shores. I want the shores though. Just move over it. Oh, no, there's some here. Shores well, that's interesting. Well, I'll take it. Okay, so this time we are actually transmitting the data. Just wait for it to transmit. Yeah, there we go. More science. Right now we have more science that we can spend, but it won't stay that way. Let's just warp ahead. Get out of reach for a bit. Coming in within Hawaii or something. Should be getting mountains. I don't think we picked up. No, that's Hawaii. Don't think we picked up mountains, so that'll be somewhere over here. Slow down time warp. There we go. Mountains. Have it again, which means that it's probably going to, yes, now we're over grasslands. And it's going to, nope, we got the science here, okay. It says so at least now. Let's warp ahead to see if we can get over, we are over the mountains now. There was nothing triggering, that's good. Okay, highlands. Oh, that was highlands, and we had, there we go, and telemetry. So, didn't manage to get telemetry, only the Geiger. It seems the transmission's working just fine now. Aha! So we'd also missed telemetry in Highlands. What do you know? Water. Is that water here? Look like it. What do I know? We're somewhere over the south of the United States. I'm not entirely sure what's here. Grasslands, water, more water. I would quite like highlands. We'll get them in time. Well, for the telemetry. I think that's, we've got all the radiation data from all biomes except the poles, of course, but we'll get those eventually with the sounding rocket. But for now we just want the telemetry analysis over highlands. Get it somewhere where we have a connection. See, that's Australia. Pacific, and back over the Pacific. Back over continental North America. Just gonna slow down to 10 times time warp. Hope that we'll get some and keep my mouse pointer ready to click. Telemetry data. I want. Still grasslands. Water. Of course we're on the dark side now and I can't see where we are. Just using map view to at least try and help figure it out. Gulf of Mexico or something like that. It's possible. keeps being water. Yours. Water. Somewhere over the Atlantic. I suppose we'll be hitting Africa soonish. Surely there are some highlands in South Africa, and this could well be South Africa. Yep, there we go, highlands, absolutely. 3.5 signs. And we still have another 6 hours and 40 minutes battery. But this should spell the end of, there we go, be the end of the Phantom 2 mission. We've gotten what we came for. Go back to the Space Center. We're just going to go to the R&D facility and check that we've gotten what we want, both in terms of telemetry and radiation, and might as well check the temperature as well. Yeah, we got that. So, 2 satellite launches, 2 successes. Brilliant. Okay. Just actually one thing before we go. I just want to lock the orbit details for the Phantom 2, because I forgot that. So, check the Phantom 2, here we go, check some info. Doesn't actually say anything here. Say anything here? No, that's probably the switch to vessel. Oh well, we might just need to go back to it then. Phantom 2. I can't actually see the orbit details here, that's a bit silly. That's a bit annoying. Okay, we'll switch to it then. Can't have a bad log. Missing log details. And the orbit info says 153 by 845. 153 by 845 km. Okay, good. And back we go, and let's check the R&D center with all this lovely science we have. Of course, we're going to get even more. Okay, R&D. We have 150 signs now, and we will invest it in time, don't worry. Science Archives says we have, well, from Launchpad, yeah. Yes, I can't actually see. The poles here. They are missing, which is interesting. It only actually shows where we've been and not where we've not been. I guess that's sort of okay-ish. History go. Temperature scans. Been anywhere where we've missed it? We don't have temperature scan while flying over the Earth's islands. Don't know what this button does, I don't care. Okay. Oh well, yeah, that's good. Let's just go ahead and see. Our next one is going to be the SR-23 here. Still have some time. Heck. Basic orbital and early construction. And it's going to be a while. Let's warp ahead to the SR-23. That's nearly a week away. Whoop. And let's roll it out immediately. Oh, it's fast. Good. Let's just check for any... No, it's only sounding rocket high. Position Phantom 2 in an adjusted orbit. I don't think so. How silly. We can't move it, so... Yes. And you call that an easy mission? I say not so much. Yes. Roll out the SR-23. Since we're not in a hurry, let's warp to the next morning and do a daytime launch. I mean, the SR-24 is still building, so it's fine. And yes, we launch here on day 337. Just when the sun got up just past noon. Yeah. Right. This is slightly tilted east. It's carrying a Geiger counter. We want to get radiation data from low and high atmosphere for grasslands and shores. Ocean we already covered with the Phantom 2, so we removed that from the mission description. Okay. And not much to do here other than launching it and staging it. So let's do just that. Go and stage. And it's good. We're spinning up. Spinning, spinning, spinning. It's a bit of a wobble here. I don't so much like that. But the dynamic pressure is already super, super high. It has stopped wobbling, roughly now at least. But yeah, it's got so much thrust. It'll start fading out at what, 16, 18 kilometers, hopefully? It's already going down a bit. But we're still suffering pretty high dynamic pressure. We are over grasslands, we already have that, ooh, that wobble. Ooh, that wobble. But plenty of time to get up, even though it's wobbling like mad. Wobbling so much even that non-physics warp, it looks like the nose cone's falling off. And it is probably being stressed something rotten here. So we are going to go into space, and we are... Well, there we go. Geiger counter in upper atmosphere of the grasslands, which is good. Send it home. And then we want low... didn't we get anything from shores? I'm not actually sure. Here's a Geiger counter for shores. Yes, very good. Send that home as well. And space over grasslands. Did we get low shores? We probably don't have low shores, so we want... Or did we? No, we probably got low shores actually on Phantom 2. Because it passed through it, so it should be fine. So we're already now going to say that this is a success. Apo-apsis of 322 kilometers. And let's just warp through it. It might tear off a fin or something when re-entering, but other than that, it should stay intact until it eventually hits the sea. Yes, we're over shores now. At this trajectory, we're probably going to end up in ocean rather than shores, but it's okay. I don't think we're missing any signs here. So I'm happy. Yeah, we're over water now. We're going quite rather fast. 1700 here. Place 18. Let's just fix warp 19,000. Perhaps even 2,100. 1,175-ish before we started slowing down. Now, yeah. It's getting very hot. As it slows down very rapidly, but it stayed intact. Good enough for slamming right against the seafloor. Now, for example, if we were to recover this with a parachute, we probably wouldn't be able to do the pre-deployment until 5,000 meters. And it's not even certain that we would be able to actually do it. No, we would be. It would be safe to do the full deployment because it would slow us down even more. So there we go. And back to the space center. Back to the studio. Full marks there. Next up is the SR-24 to get the micrometeorite, which is situation specific. So it's just low and high atmosphere and low space, and it'll be fine. Doesn't matter where we launch it, so we launch it out of the KSC. And after that, provided it's a success, we'll actually be building absolutely nothing at the KSC. Until we get basic orbital. Let's see, it's basic orbital and early construction. Well, right we are. SR-24, you're up next. No, you're not, because I probably... no. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was just wondering whether I remembered to fit all the science instruments since we started pre-building the rockets ahead of time, but yes, I did. So let's warp here. Yoink. That was reconditioning. Let's stop that. Okay. Okay, and it says next up for upgrades to mission control. Right. Let's have a look, see if we can get... No, still sounding rockets high. We won't get any more sounding rocket medium, which is a shame. So no more milk in that. Bummer. Yes, we are well aware. Okay. Yep, roll it out. We have nothing building, but I don't want to build anything. There really isn't much point. I mean, maybe we'll fire up another Phantom 1B at some point, but not until we get more science instruments. Same with the sounding rockets, so we'll basically have milked everything from Cape Canaveral once we launch this. So let's just do a daytime launch again. I mean, it's so much prettier. Yes, much prettier. Just want to see... Okay, so launch pattern 81 days, tracking station 109, mission controls. Okay, I probably will have got an upgrade for free. No, that I already spent that one. Never mind that. I don't want to spend any more money on upgrades now. We will need money to burn on the engine designs, even though we're going to take this and get something like 78,000, and the lunar flyby will also get a bit, so we will get 150,000 for it. Are we going to need that much? No, we're probably not going to need that much. Probably not. So the question is, do I want to pour more money into it? Oh, well, I want to check first of all. Let's check the basic orbital. So I don't know exactly which ones I want. I might want all of them. So this is 16 for an LR87, and this one's another 9. It's 25, 32, 45. We already had an LR87. The LR91 was that one? I think 45. Yeah. 45. 56 and 71, provided we want all of that jazz. That's 71. We don't really care too much about these things. First of all, they're not really supported, but they are specific parts for specific rockets that we're not going to use. And the Russian ones, we're not allowed to be using them. Oh, and this one here, so about 76,000 credits. We want to unlock all of them. If we want to unlock all of them. Ouch. Yeah. Oh well. So I could probably go and spend a fair bit of money on things. Right now I think what... take 8 upgrades and we split them between the VAB and the tech. Yes, let's do that. Let's get 8 upgrades and 4 on the VAB. 4. And R&D 4 as well. Could have done this earlier and gotten everything earlier, but I did not. So now this is 59 days until basic orbital, and 92, so that's 33 days to build a rocket. I think that'll be fine. I mean, build a little rocket for the moon and still get our maneuver nodes. Righty ho. Okay, let's launch the SR-24. Enough fiddling around. Okay. This is supposed to be firing straight up. Straight up? I guess it does. Let's just get science alert and let's fire it off. There we go. Oof, that was close. I was not really paying attention to the staging, but it's okay. I was worried that we'd lose ullage and would fail to ignite the stage. Okay, that was first of them. It is actually going to be slightly angled. I don't care. As long as it makes it into space, I'm happy. It's even heating up now. I mean, it's losing so much delta V to drag. Completely silly. 15 seconds, plenty of delta V. Yeah, we'll make it up again. No problem. Probably end up there at about 320-ish. And we should be, yeah, there we go, getting into the upper atmosphere. More science. As you can see here, it's from the Earth's upper atmosphere. It is situation specific, it does not care which biome you're in. Yeah, and we get to 320 again. And apparently I did tilt it slightly east for some reason. Well, so says my mission log at least. I assume it's correct. I can only assume. And we'll be getting into space soon for the last experiment, and then we're just gonna let it burn. 40, there we go. Yep. And a bit more science. And as we can see here, we already have 160, and soon we'll have about 165. Which will do us nicely. Just waiting for it to upload. There we go, all uploaded, and 165.4, and let's just walk through all of this. And let's walk some more. Don't care if it explodes, or it burns, or it crashes. It will eventually crash though, just as we saw before. Oh yes, and we got some more data units. That's great, I love data units. So, let's have a look here. Joint failed due to aerodynamic stresses between basic fin. Okay, very interesting. Seat dual tank failed. Hey. Well, it doesn't really matter. It might have been because we did this high time warp, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Splash. And Space Center. So another success. So much more like the XA-SR1 engines compared to the WAC Corporal. So until we get basic orbital rocketry, it's just the SR-21 and SR-22 from Vandenberg and Kodiak. And that's it. This tech here, 23 days from now we get an upgrade in mission control and can pick up more contracts. And let's go in and switch to Vandenberg. I think that'll be the first one. Check B here, and we're probably over here in the sunny side. Well, sun's not yet risen in Vandenberg. So that's 27 days and 13 hours, 27 days and 13 hours, so it's the same. We do Vandenberg first, that's fine. Alright. SR-21, 27 days, yes. Oh yeah, we already got that, so... Basic orbital. Could have a look. Yeah. I'm confused by upgrades with my tech. here because they're all Cape Canaveral, even though they'll take effect everywhere. Right, let's warp to the SR-21. No, what's to mission control being done? Well, fine. Now, can I go? Warp. Yep, and we can see even though we're in Vandenberg, it upgraded here as well, which is due to the KSC settings. I'm not even gonna bother looking for medium sounding rocket contracts because they just won't generate anymore. And we're going to roll this out, and then we're going to go, whoop, there we go, SR-22. It's completed, so we're going to go and start the rollout at Kodiak as well. And then jump back to Vandenberg and launch it. Or we might as well launch at Kodiak since we'll be up there anyway. Yes. Asia, which means that this should be Kodiak. Indeed it is. Roll it out. Right. Yes. 2 completed vessels. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's just complete the rollout here at Kodiak, and well, we walk to the rollout of SR-21, but SR-22 will follow just seconds later, and it will be fine. Yes, KC alarms. Okay, and in a few seconds we'll be ready to launch here. It's still night time. Guess we could walk to the daytime. Get a lovely daytime launch here at the poles. Why don't we? Might as well. There we go. And as predicted, year 2, day 7 is when we launch. We will be a bit faster forward and get even more light, hopefully. Yes. Like so. Okay. Let's, yeah, in another month until basic orbital rocketry, but that's okay. Anything else to check? No. Right, we want radiation data from low and high atmosphere and space over the poles, all of it. And it's pointed straight upwards, and that's where it's supposed to go. And now it's not pointing straight upwards anymore, because the launch tower landed at some silly, silly angle. And this annoys me, because there is a chance that we might not make it to space and still be over the poles. Really annoying. But let's just launch. This is annoying. Fortunately, that'll be fixed in... we can't see that here, just that's done at Cape Canaveral. When the launch platform upgrade is done. Okay, let's launch. Let's get science alert, and then let's launch. And stage. And yeah, that went missing. I have to go and dig inside the nose cone for it. That's a bit annoying because it's wobbly as hell. Ugh. This is really annoying. Did we get it? No, that was the procedural nose cone again. Ugh. Eh. Very, very annoying. Could you just stay still, damn it? Still on those cone we hit there. And that was the telemetry unit. Spinning like mad, and yeah, okay. We haven't bound it. It's one. And now it's going completely haywire, but it's going to burn, and it's going to burn out, and we're going to be in the upper atmosphere soon, and I won't be able to get to this because it's just spinning so silly. There's a chance I might be able to get it on the way down, but I'm not so certain. Okay. So we have a rocket which is wobbly, yes. Okay. Note to self, always use your action groups, man. Absolutely no action groups. Okay, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know how I'm supposed to get, because it's spinning so madly. I could cheat. And turn off persistent rotation somehow. Could cheat. Ballistics toolbar. We're in space now and we still can't pick up anything, and it annoys me. Toggle it here. And then we'll be able to get it. We are over the poles. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to toggle persistent rotation. And then we're going to cheat and do timing. No, it's still actually... Okay, so that actually didn't turn it off. Select target. Nah. Never mind, I don't think I can turn off persistent rotation, which is a shame, but I might be able to catch it because it's slowed down now. Zoom in, try to get the camera just right. Bad chance. Okay. Right. Well, this will give me a chance to try something new. Yes. Apart from the fact that I'm an obvious knobhead. Right, let's just walk through all of this. No, it'll allow me to try something new, which is build a rocket at KSC or Cape Canaveral and then move it to Kodiak. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to try it. I mean, technically KCT has the ability to do so. Also because we're angled, we're now over shores, and now we're over grasslands, and now we're back over the poles. But the thing is, by the time we straighten out, we're going to be very low, and we're going to be going very, very fast. So even though we'll be able to probably zoom in and pick up the review the data and transmit it, we won't be able to complete the transmission before it crashes, because it's going to hit like a brick, like a ton of bricks, in fact. There we go. Starting straighten out. Dynamic pressure's going up. But we're 33 kilometers and we're going down very, very fast. The atmosphere picks up. We're now heating up as well. Let's see if we can just manage to get inside the nose cone. I want to get inside the nose cone. And I want to... Yes, there's a Geiger counter. Okay, I want to review the data, please. I want to send it. And even though we've managed to do that, we're still going so fast that we won't be... will we? Also, do notice it did not explode this time. None of the fins tore off, I suspect. Yep, there we go. So now we actually got lower atmosphere, and there we go. Splash. Okay. Right. Useless and stupid me. We shall consider this failure because science not found to action group. Stupidity. Yes. Right, but we've still got another one to launch at Vandenberg before we go and build the SR-25 to try and fix the problems for us. So, let's jump to Vandenberg. No, I suspect I'm gonna want to go down here. Again, it's already rolled out and ready to launch, so we can't actually go and change anything to bind the science to an action group. But in this case, we know what went wrong. I opened the science before staging, so when I pressed stage, the science review window went away as well. And yeah, just altogether silly. Let's launch this one and let's not make the same mistake. I have to say though, time as a resource with Kerbal Construction Time, I think overall, of all the mods that affect how RP-0 is being played, Kerbal Construction Time is probably the most important one, because it makes time another resource. Let's see. Right, we should be angled east, we are, it seems. So, this time, let's not make an idiot of ourselves. Also, we are... Yep. Fire up. And stage. Okay, that's a bit of an early staging, but it's okay. Somewhere over here is the desert, and somewhere over there is also highlands. It's not exactly holding a true pitch from using the angle, but it's good enough. And we're just waiting to get over the desert and hopefully the highlands. And hopefully we'll get desert low. Maybe we'll crash into the desert. I thought it was in Vandenberg we got highlands, but I might be wrong. But yeah, this whole thing about RP-0, and I mean everything's of course changed with Realism Overhaul. It's a massive package of things that just make things a lot more difficult and realistic, obviously, and makes you think a lot more about what you're doing. But in terms of actually playing the game as a career game, I think Kerbal Construction Time really is what makes the difference here. Of course, TAC life support is going to... oh, there we go. Bother. TAC life support is going to have a major impact when we start doing proper crewed ones, but the main reason why it will have that is because of Kerbal Construction Time. Because you will need to, if something goes wrong, you need to send up another rocket. You can't just immediately send another one up. It'll take weeks, and do you have enough life support there? Maybe not, so you might want to build in some fail-safes right from the start and design your missions around it, like, well, of course you want launch escape towers. I mean, who uses that and stuck? No, you don't. You might want free return trajectories around the moon, for start until you know you're reasonably safe. Things like that. Right, we're in space, but we're still over grasslands. Probably not going to get highlands here. Let's just time warp ahead. Of course, we're not going to. Well, we don't want any data from space. We already picked that up with Phantom 2, so we just want the highlands and the not highlands, the upper and lower atmosphere. This does really look like a desert, but you say it's grasslands. I beg to differ. Tiny warpy. Again, this goes to 320 kilometers, that's fine. And there we go. We are now in space over desert, so if we just stay here, we'll should get the lower and upper atmosphere over desert. We'll be hitting the atmosphere very soon. There we go. Slow down, let's grab it and transmit it. Oh, bummer. Oh, bummer. Yeah. Great. Perfect. Absolutely bloody perfect. Nope, it is transmitting. That was me, I just didn't see it at first, I was quite concerned. Still over desert, and we didn't get any money for it. Let's transmit again. And getting into the lower atmosphere soon. Kilometers, let's see, 75%. Move this one over here. See the lock messages better. Okay, there we go. Money in the bank, still over desert. Getting into the lower atmosphere very, very shortly. And there we go. And grab it and send it. And slow down. Should be some highlands around over here somewhere. I might or I might not, I don't know. Angle a rocket, take another one, Mjolnir 1D and angle it even more east, so but I just don't know where the highlands are, so that looks like mountains over there, but they're a long way away. How far are we away? We're 106 kilometers away from Vandenberg, which is... Where is Vandenberg in relation to all of this? I can't actually see. Down there it looks like. See, this is 100 kilometers downrange. Well, that's a lot of kilometers downrange over there. But we're not starved for science right now. We have 171. We have so much science. Well, okay. Despite everything, this is a success. Oh yeah. Let's just watch it crash. Nice and neatly. And straight. Completely straight. Round. There we go. Nice, nice. But it is actually quite interesting that ever since we ditched that bloody WAC Corporal, we've had nothing but successful missions. I mean, yes, we have had 2 failures. One was because it was destroyed after splashing down, and the other one was me not binding science to a key and messing up things. And of course, yes, we did have an AJ-10-37 cut down slightly too early on the Phantom 2 launch, but again, it wasn't an issue because we had the excess Delta V on the next stages, which were indeed XASR1s and HA10-27s. So back to Cape Canaveral. WAC Corporal's just dreadful. Hate it. Okay, right. Jump into the VAB. Okay, let's load up the, not the SR21, let's load up the SR22. So that was the one we messed up with at Kodiak, so we're going to go here and we're going to build it. We're going to build it here at Cape Canaveral, and once it's built, we're going to move it to Kodiak, and we're going to see how that works. Might as well try, I mean it's so much faster to build it here. So much faster. Okay, come on. Very well, just 6 days. No time at all. Let's warp to that. There we go. %. Okay, let's see how this works. Select launch site. Yes. Okay, so select launch site doesn't actually do that. What it does is it just allows us if we have a new launch pads here. We only have one launch pad and we don't need any more right now. So, well, okay. We can't just build it and move it. I was considering it possible, but it will also, in a sense, be. I mean, if you build a really huge 500-ton rocket and then you want to move it afterwards, that just doesn't seem right. So we're going to scrap it, just like that. Yes. Anything? No. We can do nope. Just scrap it. It's another. Yes, I do. Notice the money, we should get the money back. We have 106,889, and there we go, money back. Right, let's bugger off to Kodiak and build it up there instead. It will, of course, be done after basic orbital rocketry is done, but that's fine by us. Kodiak. Which means I should probably soonish start to invest money into the VAB line at Kodiak, because that's where we'll be going to be doing launching our polar launches. Polar are of course great for when you want to scan or catch all the biomes or do scanning, etc. So next time we get some new science instruments, we'll probably be doing a polar launch if possible, or we'll do the same as now, where we just do a launch from the KSC or Cape Canaveral and then do a sounding rocket. We have a couple of options, which is good. Right, SR22, yes, that's the copy we want to build. Second, yeah. Yep, let's build it. And let's go and call it the SR25 instead. Okay. EAB, SR22, no, rename, not edit, rename, SR25. Lovely. And when you're done in 58 days, which will make it year 2, day 72. Okay. You said something about this being complete, which we scrapped. Let's jump back to the KSC. Let's just review things, when we'll get what, and then I think we're going to call it for this episode. Righty-ho. Okay, Canaveral. Oh. Now the game wants me to do a polar launch. I can't do that. I1 don't have the Delta V, 2 don't have the control, 3 don't have the facilities yet. So while all the building upgrades are shared across all launch sites, the VAB lines obviously aren't. As you can see, it takes a lot longer. But that's fine. Okay. So just checking, we've got nothing building here, nothing here, nothing here. Okay, launch pads are going to be upgraded in 34 days. That's going to be great. Tracking station in 58 days. Basic orbital is in 25 days. So that's going to be the next thing we do, is basic orbital and then early construction. Early construction is pretty cheap and we don't really want much from it. We just want the procedural diameter upgrade. Could go and get mature supersonic flight and get some supersonic jet engines. I don't want them though. After these, there's a good chance we're going to do either survivability or stability in early probes. If we want, depends on what we want. If we want to be able to position satellites properly, it's stability in early probes because of these. The 1 kilonewton thruster and the proper RCS. Oh yes, and we even get a ravioli thingy, the perturbation experiment. And the controllable core. And then the Gina avionics package, which is also lovely, and a film return camera to play around with. So this is for sending up satellites, survivability, if we want them back. When we do want both of these. Oh, I guess we could do quick research into basic avionics. Mainly for these, the guidance unit early, 2 and 3 meters. I like those. Probes, I don't think they'll be useful. They don't have the range. We can't really. I mean, yes, it says these are interplanetary probes and whatnot. Pioneer interplanetary probe, yes, but it has an Omni antenna with a range of 4 million meters. That's 4,000 kilometers, which means that with remote tech and the RP-0 configuration and everything, that means it's 400,000 kilometers. So it'll only go to the moon. That's as far as it can go. Yes, we might as well dig into it. Basic construction doesn't give us a lot. It really doesn't, except for the procedural diameter upgrade again, which we of course like. And it is cheap. And all the next ones cost 20. Oh well, let's call it here for today, and next time we'll start building some properly big launchers. Yeah, that'll be great. Bye for now.